Hi, I'm Jason from StrataGames. Today we are playing some more Pauper. This is Cawgates, a deck that has not been super popular in the meta recently, but I think might have a decent shot right now because the meta is so heavily flooded with mono red at the moment, and we have a generally pretty good matchup against mono red because we play 4 Prismatic Strands, 4 Outlaw Medics, and 4 Sacred Cats, a bunch of lifelink that can get buffed up by a lot, and then the Prismatic Strands can just prevent all of their damage. So ideally, we will be alright. We also have a bunch of blue Elemental Blasts in the sideboard. We're also, of course, playing some Brainstorms and Preordains to just find the cards we need. Brainstorm goes very nicely with Squadron Hawk. Modern Age is a way to dig for cards, bin Prismatic Strands, and turns into a creature later. Thraben Charm can blow up graveyards and kill creatures. Counter Spell obviously just counters anything. Journey to Nowhere as some mostly unconditional removal. Lorien Revealed for card draw, and then our lands. Basilisk Gate rewards us for having gates, and then we have Citadel Gates, Sea Gates, Azorius Guild Gates, some Heap Gates, Idyllic Beachfront, and then Islands. In our sideboard, we just have Dust to Dusts, a bunch of blue elemental and hydroblasts, pyro/red elemental blasts, and a breath weapon. So let's see what we can do in the meta. Upstate New York Pauper is holding a charity tournament on June 21st to help support Trans Lifeline and the Trevor Project. This is looking to be a great tournament with a bunch of prizes and, of course, for a great cause. And if you're like me, pretty far away from New York, there's a place where you can donate so that you can stay involved. There's a link in the description for more details, and let's try to make the world just a little bit better. All right, here we have 3 lands, Modern Age, Prismatics. Brainstorm seems solid enough. A little slow, but Modern Age can turn into a creature. And Prismatics can hopefully keep us alive. It is against some sort of red deck. We're just going to start with a gate. Next turn, play at Modern Age, probably. They got that Tomb Raider and another Epicure. We draw an island, play our gate, and play a Modern Age, pitching a Prismatic. Ideally, we can find a white creature here that can hold up the Prismatic Strands. So we're already going to be taken down to 11. They Chain Lightning and another Chain Lightning. So we're at 5. Journey to Nowhere. We find an Outlaw Medic, though. I think... Can we pitch another Strands? Kind of want to hold that up. I think we pitch a Brainstorm. Yeah. And we'll play a Medic and just play a Beachfront, I think. I mean, if we block their attack, we're not going to flashback a Prismatic right there. Well, we could. If I do and they have double bolt, we'll just die. But I think that's fine. I think we block here and just go for it. Hope they don't have the double. They look like they might. There's a lightning bolt and there's a lava dart. That's going to do it. Unfortunate. Double Prismatic Strands, but just no creature on turn 3, I guess, kind of did us in. Do get 6 blasts. Hopefully that'll help. I think Journey's too slow. Thrabens are definitely too slow. And I guess even just a regular counterspell's not really where we want to be. In fact, I think I might bring in a Breath Weapon over another counterspell. I know Breath Weapon doesn't do as much since they are probably playing pingers and things like that, but there still would have been pretty decent. Alright, here we got 2 blue blasts and Outlaw Medic. All tap lands, but that's kind of what you get. Definitely keeping this one. Citadel Gate on blue. They have a Percussionist. Modern Age. So Seagate on... I think we'll just do white for this one. I know we have a breath weapon, but I think it'll be alright. And I want to just hold up a blue blast here. We'll take 1. And they have a flame breather. We will just shoot that. Lorien Revealed. Okay. So we get an island. And Modern Age. I guess we'll get a Modern Age off. Discard a... Kind of want to hit land drops, maybe a Brainstorm. Maybe I should have played the Squawk first so we had more stuff to discard to the Modern Age. They got another Percussionist, swing, and pass right away. There's a Basilisk Gate. Draw another Modern Age. Yeah, I think we'll drop that because I want to get some value off the Hawk. We'll play a Heap Gate and just play out this Medic. Ideally, we can keep it alive with this Blue Blast and then we can gate it up next turn, but... Obviously, it's still just going to die if they double bolt it. They go for the Chain Lightning. I will try to keep it alive. They got the bolt. Medic down. Now we get a counter spell. And they have a Ren's Resolve. Just a Chain Lightning isn't the worst. We draw another Squadron Hawk. It's pretty annoying. We probably should have deployed it earlier. but we will play one now. Tutor up 2 more, and I think we just hold up Counterspell and try to keep the Vector Glider alive, I guess. So they can't kill this now. I mean, even if they can, we can kind of just start gating up, and they were a little behind, but I don't think it was quite that far. But I guess if they have no more bolts, we start hitting in for 7. We get them pretty quick. Let's just do that again. We got Prismatic, Squadron Hawk, and Blue Elemental Blast. I think it seems alright. Also a good amount of lands. Opponent moles to 6. Epicure. Heap Gate, not Heap Gate, Citadel Gate. I could just leave up a Blue Blast, but what's the worst they're going to do? Like a Kessig Flame Breather, but I can kill that next turn. So I think we'll just start with a Citadel Gate on blue, since I can get red from the Heap Gate if I really need. They have a Flame Breather, so I might just shoot that. They attack for 1. Outlaw Medic's pretty good, but yeah, I want to get rid of this guy while we can. It also gives me the ability to just play a tap land and not feel bad about it. They have another one. Hit for 1. We get an island. I guess... Do I just pass with the Prismatic Strands up now? I think so. Then next turn I can play these 2 and have a Prismatic Strands to protect them. They're just going to start by swinging, which is smart. We'll Prismatic. It's only for 2, but also prevents them from playing anything really this turn. Or they just play another Flame Breather. Okay. Can't kill all of those. There's the Breath Weapon that doesn't actually kill the Flame Breathers like we want. Pretty annoying. Here's a Squawk and an Outlaw Medic. And some reason only 2 of them got into my hand, even though all 3 of them darkened when I played them. Hopefully that won't come back to bite me. They're going to bin a Tomb Raider with a blood token. I guess, yeah, the creatures don't do too much with the Prismatic Strands. And no artifacts, I guess, after they get rid of the blood token. Chain Lightning the Medic. I guess we'll keep him alive. I guess I should have tapped the other one because they might, yeah, try to rebolt it. Which means I should have this one up. That was my bad. Draw a card. We get another Medic. Although I guess they're not going to attack. That was my thought, was they're not going to attack, obviously. So it's fine. Sacred Cat's not bad. They only have one card left. So I could just slam a Lorien, but then we take some damage and stuff. And if we get a Basilisk Gate at some point, we really want to have a Medic down. So I think I just play a Medic. Oh, I can't play a Medic and a Cat. Or rather a Hawk and a Cat, because I only have 1 more white. We'll swing for 1, and I guess I'll just play the Squawk, so that I get this last Hawk that was supposed to be here anyway. Don't draw it. And it's more mana. Yeah, this Breath Weapon could have been a counterspell or something. Would have looked a lot nicer like that, for sure. They play a Great Furnace. Basilisk Gate would be great. It's an island. I think we're just gonna Lorien Revealed. Hope they don't Red Blast this. They don't. We get a Blue Blast, though, which I think I gotta take out one of these with, right? At some point. I could save it for something, but all I'm gonna save it for is, like, damage on our guys. I'd rather just remove one of these, I think. And swing at them for 2. And they concede. Alright. Yeah, I don't think the Breath Weapon was probably right. We hadn't really seen the Flame Breather, so I wasn't 100% sure that was the version they were running. But usually this is the most stable version, so probably wouldn't side that in again. Alright, round 2 here we have a good amount of lands, and just most lands and pretty much creatures, so not a lot of interaction, but it seems solid in the dark. We don't know if we're going to be against a red or a, an affinity or something, but I think it's okay. Thraben Charm could be decent. Play a gate and pass. Another bridge of the same type. So still could be affinity, but I'm going to guess Jund. Modern Age. I think I want to get one of those Modern Ages going, so let's just play one. Again, maybe should have just played a Squadron Hawk so that I had something better to discard here. I guess I'm discarding a land, which I don't actually want. Yeah, I'm realizing I didn't really want to discard any of my cards, so probably should have waited on the Modern Age. I don't play this deck a lot, and it's one of the more complicated ones to play, I think. I think I'll get rid of a land. I'll find more, but obviously, as a land deck, I don't love discarding lands. Especially if they, like, refurb me here. Would love to just pitch like a hawk. There's the Wildfire. Gonna be tough against Jund, because they can also just blow up our lands. But they missed a land drop, which is nice. We get a Prismatic Strand, so I'll bin that. Play out a Squawk, so I can pull them out now. Yes. I'm already at 6, so I'm going to play one of these, so I guess I only pull out 2. I don't want to throw one away for no value. Wellspring, and they have a refurb, so we'll get rid of a Hawk. And they miss their land drop again. Flip a Modern Age. Play a Heap Gate. I guess we'll swing for 1. I think I want to save my removal for Chrysalises and things. This guy's not really a problem anyway. I'll play another Squadron Hawk, pull out the last one, and then play a Modern Age. And I can get rid of a Hawk or just a Cat. Hawks are probably a little better because they don't die to Krark Clan Shaman, so I'll just bin the Cat. Fanatical Offering, digging for that land. I want to be as non-reliant on a Basilisk Gate as possible, which is why I just kind of want to build up my attack force pretty quickly. So that, because I'll probably only get one use out of a Basilisk Gate before they just blow it up. So I also want to wait as long as possible to do that. They have a Spell Bomb. That can take out my Cat and my Strands. But they wait on it. I guess they can wait until after I Modern Age. They have to discard as well, a Toxin Analysis. Yeah, they go for it in the upkeep. Sure. I could Prismatic here, but I don't think that matters. So they can just get their card. You get another Prismatic Strands. Let's bin that. Why they should have waited until after, I guess after the trigger resolved, we would have already been in my main phase. So then I could get the Cat. So I guess that's fair. Let's just play another Modern Age. Heap Gate. I'll get rid of this Hawk. Swing for 4. We'll just beat him down with a bunch of 2/3s. Play out Outlaw Medic and a Seagate. Now they got a Chrysalis. We get another Prismatic Strands, and we get to bin it with the Modern Age. So I don't think these are cards we really need in our opener. Or opener, just in our hand, but we get a counterspell, which is great. Let's just Journey to Nowhere this Chrysalis. Take it out. Looks like they might sacrifice it. That's fine. They already have plenty of cards. I'm not going to fight over cards. I'm just going to fight over what actually comes down onto the field. And we'll swing with the team. They're just going to take 5. And I'll pass. They got another Chrysalis. I think we counter this one. I could just Thraben Charm it. But then if they get like a Blood Fountain, I'm going to have to counterspell that. Whereas I prefer that they have to Blood Fountain and spend the Blood Fountain. So yeah, actually I think I'll just counter this. I think that's fine. And they concede, again, it feels a little premature, but we're definitely in a good spot, but we had not won the game yet, but we'll take it. I think blue blasts are pretty important here because we really want to stop their cleansing wildfires. They're probably going to have some red blasts for us. Maybe they'll just do like duresses. I don't care too much about the Krark, but if they have like breath weapons, they might be good too. And Dust to Dust, as a Junt Wildfire pilot, I know Dust to Dust isn't usually backbreaking, like usually you can come back from it, but it's still good to hit like their first couple lands. Like if they're on an all lands hand, it's pretty good, but if they're not, it's kind of irrelevant. Prismatic Strands just doesn't do too much here. They have colorless creatures, they have creatures of all colors. They do play breath weapons potentially in the sideboard or Krark Clan Shamans, neither of which I'm too terrified about. And we like Thraben Charm and Journey to Nowhere here, so like I'm not taking those out. I don't think I really want to take out creatures. Maybe a couple of cards for like a couple blue blasts. Maybe we just hold up counter spells for the late game, like regular counter spells. I don't know. Something's telling me like one Sacred Cat can be like one blue blast, and hopefully that'll not screw us over. This hand's fine. We'll keep it. Opponent mulls to 5. Strong start. They have a bridge. We have a gate. They have a swamp and a wellspring. Good for them. There's a Dust to Dust. If I want to be as safe as possible, I could just cycle this Lorien for my white source. And then if they play another artifact land, I can just blow them both up. And that seems pretty good. Even if they don't, if they like miss their land drop, I could even just take out the wellspring and the bridge. That could be okay. I think it's high upside. They got the offering. That's pretty good. But they have another bridge. All right. So let's just set them back a little bit. Double Stone Rain. And see what that does for us. It simply wins us the game. And that's how you do it. All right. Hand seems solid. We can maybe do the old Brainstorm Squadron Hawk. They're on Snow-Covered Island. Seagate on white. Snow-covered makes me think... I mean, it could be like, is it Scred? They're just holding up a Spell Pierce. Could be Tireless Tribe. I think that Prismatic Strands is really good against them. Yeah, Wedding Invitation makes me think Tireless Tribe. Counterspell. Okay. So I think... What do I want to do? I can't hold up Counterspell here, so I think I just try to play Sacred Cat, and then I can cycle the Lorien. And then next turn I can like hold up Prismatic if I need to, have Counterspell, things like that. They have their own Hawk, of course. They grab all 3, so they're going to discard 1 on the end step. Cycle the Lorien for an island. They pitch a Deep Analysis. So I'll swing, and they'll block. That doesn't do anything. I think we just pass here. Hold up a Counterspell if they go for a Tribe. Anything else we can like just brainstorm, I guess. They brainstorm and then they're gonna Hawk. I guess I could have counterspelled that. I'm not really too worried about the trick, honestly. They'll swing for they'll swing for 1. I might just want to get Prismatic Strands in the graveyard here. Feels like kind of a waste, but like I think I'd rather have it for free, you know? We'll just save the 1 damage. And I already held up the mana for it, so. And I don't think I'm going to counter any spell anything since they don't have a white mana for a Tireless Tribe. They just ponder. And they're going to have to discard again. It's an escape tunnel. So here, Keepgate is kind of awkward. I can't actually play a Squadron Hawk and hold up a counter spell. So I think we're just taking it slow, playing a beachfront, and passing. Cycle an Ash. They cycle an Ash Barrens for an island. Brainstorm. Play another Hawk. They get their extra card. No, they don't search. They kept it in hand. Interesting. Swing for 2 and pass. Another Prismatic Strands. So now I can go Squadron Hawk, get my own Squadron Hawks. Now I have triple Prismatic or Counterspell. Now I'm in a pretty good spot. And I'll just pass. They have a Tireless Tribe. Let's Counterspell that. I'm expecting a Counterspell back, but that's okay. They have a Spell Pierce. Okay. I thought they might not have like Spell Pierces. They might just have the 3 mana one, the circle. But then they flash back Deep Analysis. Swing. I'll block with a Hawk. They pass. We get a Lorien. Let's cycle that. Play an island. Play another Hawk. Just so that we have the ability to triple Prismatic Strands if we needed. They preordain. Swing with the team. Block the Tribe and the Hawk. They discard. They do have the whiteout. So plenty of uses on the Tribe. So we'll just trade here. We get another Lorien. So we'll just cycle Lorien for an island, play that, embalm the cat, because we don't have a ton of white. Actually, if I play another Hawk, I'm not going to be able to cast this Prismatic from hand. So I guess I just hold up double Prismatic and a Counterspell. That should be fine. They inside out our cat. They just have multiple, I'm assuming. So they're cycling it. Preordain, ponder, cycle an Ash Barrens, preordain. They swing with both. I think we just don't block this time. Don't really see a reason to. They go for it. We have Prismatic Strands, so we're kind of fine. We're going to keep Gate to make a treasure. Modern Age. Now I'm going to brainstorm for a Squawk. I want to hit some more land drops. There we go. Put away one of these and Modern Age, I guess. Play the Hawk. Play a Gate. I could gate this for 5, and then I have 1 Prismatic and 1 Counterspell. That feels a little thin with all the stuff they've been doing. So let's just Modern Age. That's still 3 Prismatic Strands I can hold up. If they can get through 3 Prismatic Strands, they're in a pretty good spot anyway. Gate's not bad. We'll get rid of this Hawk and just pass here. I guess I could... No, I can't attack because I want to hold up as many Prismatics as possible. Do they play Prismatic Strands? Why do I feel like Tireless Tribe sometimes plays Prismatic, so I can't actually like go for a big Sacred Cat? They do make this unblockable, so we'll see what they're doing. I'm taking 1. They're going to inside out. That's fine. They do have a Prismatic Strands. They have a Circular Logic. That's what I was trying to think of before. They're discarding that so early. They must have a bunch of others, a bunch of other good ones. That puts them to 9, 13... and 17. Flashback Prismatic Strands. They have a Circular Logic. I can't pay 22 generic, unfortunately. We do just have another Prismatic, so hopefully this will be good enough. Prevent all damage from white sources. Alright, that worked. So they still have a whiteout. It's not impossible for them to still win, but they use their unblockability. They discarded like 5 cards, so it's still pretty good. They have to find another inside out. We loot here, just get rid of this island. Let's Brainstorm. Modern Age, Seagate. I guess we'll put back Brainstorm and Seagate. We have a Basilisk Gate. So we have enough mana that I can play a Medic, Basilisk Gate up this cat, attack for 6. They flashback Prismatic, that's fine. And then I'll play an Outlaw Medic and pass. They pass the turn. We'll transform this, play a Seagate, buff up our Sacred Cat. Could buff up the Outlaw Medic. If they just have a Prismatic, it's kind of the same. I think we'll just do the one. Swing with the Squadron Hawk 2, though. They have a Prismatic Strands. There it is. I think we'll just pass. Alright, and they concede. They were in a tough spot. We had some decent control. They didn't know about the counterspell, but they know we're going to be able to start beating them down. So what do we get here? Pyroblasts are pretty good for all their blue stuff. I guess blue blasts hit inside out. That's not nothing. Breath Weapon's pretty useless. Prismatic is just the best, as are our removal spells like Journey and Thraben Charm. I guess Thraben Charm doesn't actually do a ton because they can grow it pretty quickly, but it also hits the graveyard, which can hit a Prismatic Strands or maybe a whiteout, or at least make them use an extra land from the whiteout. In general, I think our main deck's pretty good against them. But we'll bring in the Red Blasts to hit inside out as well as their counterspells, and just take out some of our creatures, I suppose. Probably not our 1-drops, just like these medics are probably not dying ever in combat. I think that's fair. We're already on a mull to 6 because of this Squadron Hawk. We do have a Journey, though. 2 lands. It's not amazing. But it does have a little protection from dying just really early. I guess with tap lands it doesn't really. I think we'll mulligan this. This one's not great either, seeing as we have no creatures, but we'll keep this one. Hopefully the Brainstorm can set us up a little better. They preordain, counterspell. I'm gonna Citadel Gate on blue. I do want to have a red land, but counterspell is kind of important to have blue stuff. They do have a tunnel here. There's the Pyroblast, but we're gonna have a Heap Gate in a second here. Let's just grab our tap land and then pass. Probably gonna grab a Plains, I would guess. So predictable. There's their Squawk. They just pulled out 2 Hawks, play a land. We have another counterspell. I guess we'll just Heap Gate and pass. If they go for a Tribe, we can counterspell it. If not, we can do like a Brainstorm Cyclorian. We also have a Pyroblast. Hit for 1, they ponder. Cycle and Ash Barrens. An island. There's a Tribe. Let's counterspell. They have the Spell Pierce. We can't pay for. Let's cycle Lorien. An island. Seagate. I guess here we're going to play an island and hold up counterspell plus Pyro to try not to die to the Tireless Tribe, which is pretty much all we got. They just play a Squawk, that's fine. They went for an Inside Out here, obviously we'd counter it. They ponder, that's fine. Escape Tunnel, swing for 2, Heap Gate, make a treasure. There's a Squadron Hawk of ours, that's pretty good. Play a Seagate on red, and now I can play a Hawk, hold up Counterspell and Pyroblast, and pass. Sack their Escape Tunnel for a land, red, and they have a Wedding Invitation. I don't think we want to fight over the unblockability. I think we want to fight over the inside outs. Preordain. Not really sure what the red's for. Let's see. 2 Hawks incoming. I think I'm fine to just trade. I'm not really that worried about these guys, but I mean, it does mean we have to replay one to have like Prismatic and stuff, but Gate. Let's see, if I go Brainstorm, Hawk, that's 3 mana. I still can Pyroblast Counterspell. Let's do that. Brainstorm first. Another Heap Gate. Put back 2 Squawks. Play Hawk. Pick these guys back up. Play an Azorius Guild Gate. And I think we just pass. Ditch this cat, because we can play it again. They Brainstorm. Would love to find a Prismatic Strands. Of course, they're already probably playing around Prismatic as best they can. They do Wedding Invitation and swing. There's the Inside Out. Let's try to Pyroblast it. And they have a Circular Logic. There is a world where I could Thraben Charm to blow up their graveyard so Circular Logic doesn't counter anything, but not if they can just discard more cards after it. So I'm going to try to counterspell the original Inside Out, I guess. And I think they just got us if they have one more counterspell. And that's a Circular Logic. We're going to be able to pump, and we're going to die. Could not find a Prismatic Strands, although they had double Circular, so it might not have been as easy. But if I had held up Strands and counterspells, I might have been okay. That's how it goes. Let's just resubmit, I think. It's possible that it's worth bringing in every single one of these, because if they can't resolve an Inside Out, they can't win. So if I just have, I mean, usually, unless they have like beatdowns, but like maybe there is actually a world where we just bring in like, Thraben Charm actually doesn't seem very good here, to be honest. So let's just try like 3 of these in. They also had a mountain, so clearly they've sided in like Red Blasts or something of their own. Probably Flaring Pain, that's it. Yeah, Flaring Pain is a problem. Yeah, let's just try to do that. Three of these in for Thraben Charms. They counter the Inside Out, which is the main card we care about, that or Tireless Tribe, and then they also counter Flaring Pain, which is relevant. Alright, we're on the play. Counter spells, but nothing else. Like Sacred Cat's not interesting. Lorien Revealed, so we have no gates at all. This doesn't seem to work for me. This one's a little rough because we have no easy colored mana, but I think it's fine enough to keep. I guess we get rid of the Pyroblast. It's our only interaction, but we gotta find more. I don't know. Play Heap Gate and pass. Not a great hand, to be sure. And they kept 7 again. Lucky. Ponder. Little Ponder. Another cat. I guess we just lead with a cat. They got a Wedding Invitation. Heap Gate. I could just Basilisk Gate for 4 damage here. That doesn't seem great. I guess I want to get a Modern Age going. This is just really awkward. We'll pitch a Sacred Cat, and we'll swing for 1. They got a Brainstorm. Play an Island, and pass. Probably have a cycle in like an Ash Barrens or something. Finally, we get a Guild Gate that's reasonable. A Basilisk Gate. There is a world where we can just like go aggro here. We play the Azorius Gate, we just attack for 5, but we're not even going to need this Basilisk Gate, I don't think. We might need this Heap Gate if we can't find other colored sources, but we're going to need 9 lands before this is going to be relevant. Let's just get rid of it. Play this, buff this guy. Hope there's no like snap or anything. They have a Gut Shot, of course they do. That's really annoying. But they Brainstorm locked themselves, it looks like. We get to flip this. Let's Preordain, Prismatic, and Blue Blast. I mean, those are... I guess we kind of have the tools we need to win. So these are the tools we need to not die. Sure, I guess we keep them. Play a Heap Gate and just get a cat. And then we're not going to Brainstorm, so I guess we just get another cat. I guess leaving that card on top means we're not going to draw land, so there's no way we can double gate here, even if we like Brainstorm first. But let's Brainstorm. They have a Dispel. That's fine. I'm going to buff the Glider. I don't care about the lifelink, I think, and I'd rather not get Gut Shot again. Let's just attack for 9. This is just a 2-turn clock. And if they don't have white, they can't Prismatic Strands. Okay, anticlimactic, but I am glad that I was able to get the game, certainly. We're against USP dudes. They are the ones who made the black Packed Doll Gardens deck that I was playing a couple weeks ago that I got a trophy with. It was pretty sweet, so I'm not going to be surprised if they're on some sort of mono-black control. This hand's fine. Mono-black control, probably pretty decent against us. A lot of removal, hard to buff up a guy. They do mulligan to 5. I've had a lot of opponents do that recently. Just cursing them, you know. Putting a hex on them right away. Drawsforge Bridge. Okay, could be like Jund Wildfire or something. Let's get our gates going. Could also be like a Packed Doll deck. Mardu. I mean, I'm a fan of Mardu Initiative. Maybe it's something like that. They didn't have a Wildfire or anything. I could play a cat and get down another tap land, or I could play like an Outlaw Medic. It's about the same, and I'd rather get down a tap land, I think. Let's just do this. Tiny Cat. Seagate. And pass. Pull out a Swamp. Mountain, and a 3-mana Refurb. Okay, I can live with that. I'll pitch a Brainstorm. Squadron Hawk. I want to get that off so I can get Brainstorm going, and in case they make me discard more cards. So we'll just swing for one, play a Beachfront, play a Squawk, and pull out those 3 birds. Do not like the way that the interface works with Squadron Hawk. It is very finicky. Seething Landscape as well. Interesting. Maybe they're like a 4-color Affinity. There's the Pack Doll. I figured that they wanted... I figured they'd have a Pack Doll. That is the main card they've been liking. Heapgate. Let's just start with a Brainstorm, see if I can find like a removal spell for this. Well, if I do that with the Hawks, then I have to pick up the Hawks now. Might have to discard them, but that's probably fine. Let's just do it. There's a Journey and a Cat. Put back 2 Hawks. And I guess I can let them have it for 1 turn. Because if I don't play a Hawk, I'm going to draw another Hawk, and I really don't want to do that. So we're going to hope I don't regret it. And not Journey to Nowhere this turn. So that we can get our full Ancestral Recall off. They have an Ichor Wellspring. Take a damage. Fanatical Offering, take a damage. No land drop, though. That's nice for us. Counterspell. So now let's just Journey to Nowhere that guy. Swing with the crew, and just... I think we can kind of just hold up counterspells and beat with this crew for a while. Thunderscape Familiar. Okay, so they're like mono black, is my guess. Just trying to make everything really cheap. I guess we counterspell this. I mean, you don't really play a Thunderscape Familiar in a deck that doesn't want to storm off a little bit with it. I don't expect the deck to be fully storm combo or anything, but like a little bit. They're just gonna have a lot of black spells, I guess. They have a Wellspring, still no land drop. Thraben Charm, not bad. Swing with the crew, and I guess I'll just throw out an Outlaw Medic. I could hold up double counterspell. I think I'll do that from now on. This speeds up the clock a little bit more. Eviscerator's Insight, I think that's fine. I can counter the other half. And I'd rather they don't play something else worse here. Counter the other half, like just actually counter it, or I can just blow it up from the graveyard or whatever. They have a map token onto the Familiar. You know, that I actually will just kill it in response. Because they're trying to draw a land, and I don't want them to do that. Don't mind getting rid of this. Also, I'm not expecting them to have a 1-drop that I'm really scared about. Even a Krark I'm not worried about here. Galv Blast, certainly not worried about. Seagate, swing. Again, they did stifle our clock a little bit, so I'll play another Hawk to make it a 2-turn and just hold up 1 counterspell. I think the only things we're countering are removal or maybe life gain. Like a Pact Terror certainly will get countered. I guess a Refurb probably would too. But 1 Galvanic Blast is fine. They're going to pass. I am greedy. Maybe I probably shouldn't make... Probably don't need to make a treasure with that Heapgate, but I really wanted to. We'll attack for 4. They're going to try to take out another Hawk. It does slow our clock, but I really don't think we need to counter it. Now, Cast Down on a Medic. That one maybe we need to. Yeah, we do need some sort of a clock. So we'll counter that one. Hit for 3. Play another Hawk. Who needs a Basilisk Gate when you just got a bunch of 1/1s? Blood Fountain, not worried about it. We got a Thraben Charm. I will counter the Fanatical. No, I think it's fine. If we had Lethal, I would counter it because I think that them not drawing anything is good, but since we don't, I might want to hold it for next turn. I have a Familiar, 1/1 first strike. I mean, that's kind of annoying in it by itself. Sure, let's just counter that. Then we have a Thraben Charm for if they try to buy stuff back. We'll hit for a bunch, play an Outlaw Medic, and pass. Bargain away a blood token, gain nothing. Alright, and we got there. To me, it looks like Rakdos Affinity Control. I don't really know, but Dust to Dust is going to be good, and let's see, they have they have Galvanics, they have Familiars, they're probably going to bring in Pyroblasts, so I think Blue Blasts are good too. They might also have like Reckless Fireweavers. Prismatic doesn't prevent Pactol Terror damage, except for combat damage, obviously. So I don't know if these are that great. I mean, it feels like they're kind of a burn deck, so it doesn't feel like I want to get rid of all of them necessarily. But also, like, Graveyard seems relevant. Creatures are relevant. Maybe Modern Ages aren't as necessary. Outlaw Medic is good, so it replaces itself when it dies. I guess Blue Elemental Blast doesn't kill a Pactol, so maybe we just don't want as many of those. Maybe just a couple. I think this seems alright. Here we have 6 lands and a counterspell. Opponent kept 7. So I'm going to say that's not going to be good enough. Here, only 2 lands, but we have a Brainstorm. Dust to Dust. Oh, we have a Lorien. Okay, we can get there then. Sure, let's keep this and hope the Dust to Dust is good enough. Get rid of the Blue Blast, I guess. Bridge. Alright. Seagate on white. Pass. So we can do a turn 3 Dust to Dust. They got a Wellspring. Cycle this Lorien for our beachfront. We get a Medic too, not bad. They just Bridge and a Wellspring. I'm not going to Dust to Dust into them having mana to sack the Wellspring, so that's out. I think I just Modern Age into Sacred Cat. They got a Fanatical for the Wellspring. I don't think we saw any Great Furnaces or Vault of Whispers, so it's possible they only are playing the bridges to keep it like lean, so that the Dust to Dusts are not as good, and that's fine. They have a Red Blast, so be it. We'll just play a Sacred Cat. Another Swamp. Mephitic Draft. Kind of what I was expecting. It's just Nick or Wellspring, but it's black and it loses them a life, but it costs 1 less with the Familiar, so relevant. There's no world where I'm going to Basilisk Gate this up because they have a million removal spells. So we're certainly going to be waiting a while to do that. So I think I'm just playing a Basilisk Gate, playing an Outlaw Medic, and then we're going to Brainstorm Lorien potentially here. Or I might just hold the Lorien for full value. At this point, Dust to Dust is going to be saved until they have at least like a Pact Terror to get that and a land. They got an Offering. They're kind of playing a Gardens deck. It's just like a Rakdos Gardens, and obviously no actual garden. But rest assured, it's probably 20 card draw spells, 20 removal spells, and then some other stuff. Lands and the like. They're going to Gal Blast the cat, just because they got the cards for it, I guess. There. Cast down the Medic. Yep, I'll draw a card. Another Medic. I think I might want to keep this Lorien, honestly. We're a little bit lower on cards than they are. So let's just start with a Brainstorm, see if I hit another land. We do. Medic and a Thraben Charm. Charm's not super relevant right now. Nor is this Dust to Dust, so I guess we just put both of those back. Play a Seagate, and play another Outlaw Medic. Shattered Landscape, and they got a Fanatical Offering. Into a Kami of Jealous Thirst. Okay. Had one of these in the other deck, too. They're pretty sweet. Drains for 2, and costs no mana if they've drawn 3 cards this turn. They do have enough for a Galv Blast, so I can't really Medic. I can't Basilisk Gate onto this Medic. And we put the Dust to Dust on top, which I don't love, because I could have killed this with a Thraben Charm. And it's got Death Touch, so I can't even attack into it. Well, let's just... could just draw 3 cards with this Lorien. Sure, let's just do that. And hope there's no Pyroblast. That'd be pretty rough. But indeed there is. Feels like this shouldn't be a terrible match for us, but we are slow enough that they were able to spend their first, 5 turns drawing cards, and we weren't really able to punish them. So that's not going to go great for us. Since they have so many more cards than we do. They have some of these guys as well. Means they can activate Kami. They also have a Relic. So they could pop if they want to get rid of the Sacred Cat. And they do. Well, I guess we're playing a Medic, a Cat, and then Thraben Charming. Charming? Yes, that's the perfect way to pronounce that. Thraben Charming this Kami. They'd have to have a free spell to be able to kill 2 of our guys. Like a Snuff Out, which I'm just not anticipating them playing. But they could. They don't, so we'll swing for 1. Yeah, Dust to Dust not looking great here. I guess they've definitely tried to make their deck impervious to it, or at least less pervious to it. Nailed it. Draw on more cards. Refurbished Familiar. Well, that gets the Dust to Dust. Map turns up a Swamp. Another Map shows us Suffocating Fumes, which they keep. Got another Bridge. Map shows the Suffocating Fumes again. We got a 4/3. Discard a Landscape. Keep Gate. I mean, we can double Basilisk Gate, which is something. So let's do it. Onto the Sacred Cat. Since that's the one that dies to the Suffocating Fumes they kept, might as well just do that. They do Galv Blast it. And then we'll buff an Outlaw Medic. Hit for 6. Up to 24. They got an Eviscerator's Insight. Refurb. Wellspring. They swing for 4. They're going to have to discard 2 cards, unless they want to just send off some removal now. Or another draft. Still going to have to discard, though. Mountain. Pitch a Landscape. Well, I'm going to play this Seagate And I'm going to try to buff one of these guys. They got a Galv Blast for it. So I'll draw a card. And I'll try to buff the other one and hope they don't have another Galv Blast. That one worked. We'll attack for 7. They're down to 4. They got to draw more cards. Reckoner's Bargain, the Wellspring. Another Kami. Yep, that's not bad. Death Touch is pretty good here. And Extract a Confession is going to eat our medic. We got a Thraben Charm. They do have an Insight in the bin. They swing for 6. We get a Basilisk Gate. Guess we will bring back our cat. Keep Gate and pass. But if they can get rid of this cat, we're pretty much dead. I guess a Squadron Hawk off the top would be pretty good, as that's just a lot of creatures. They have another draft. Swing for 6. Guess we'll make a couple gates. I guess we'll make a couple treasures. There's a Squadron Hawk. Basilisk Gate. Play a Hawk. Pull out 3. Play another Hawk. So we have enough to use a Thraben Charm. Try to buff up the Sacred Cat. So they gotta use a removal spell on it. They cast it down. So I could Thraben Charm the Kami now. I think that's right. Kami over the refurb. Over the refurb, which I can block and also just outrace. Whereas the Kami gains life and is... I guess it's on the ground, though. But it's 2 extra life every turn. It's a 4 life swing, which I guess is the same as the Familiar, but I can't chump it. Yeah, let's just Thraben Charm the Kami. They might draw in response and then activate. Actually, maybe I should have done... Because next turn I can make 3 Squadron Hawks that are all lethal. So maybe I should have saved it for a flyer, which can block these guys. Might have been better, but oh well. They have a Suffocating Fumes. Right, we knew they had that. And so they're just going to wipe these. Right. Well, I can play 1, and it's still lethal. But they just need like another removal spell or 2, and we're going to be toast. Flashback the Insight. Activate Kami. Another refurb. Eats the Hawk. I guess if they have nothing, they attack with these guys. I have a removal spell for the Familiar, and then I pump the Hawk. We get there, but that seems unlikely. Plus we just die to a Galvanic Blast now. They got a Relic. That's fine. Prismatic Strands could keep us alive, I guess. Not really, because they can activate Kami here, and they can activate it again. So let's just go to the next game. Yeah, that Dust to Dust was not as good as I was hoping. I think they've definitely built their deck to be safe against it. They didn't have as many Pact All Terrors. I think they probably only had like 2. I think that's how many were in the other version. So I'm thinking maybe like... Maybe the Modern Ages are good, actually. Or better. I still don't hate like 1 Dust to Dust, 1 or 2. Let's just do that. I don't know, I think if we have a better opener... They were very slow there, we just didn't have much, but like... This is no creatures, not any speed, but I guess it's counter spells and a cantrip and lands. I guess we'll try it. Start with the Seagate. We have a landscape, we have a counter spell. Let's just preordain. Try to find some creatures. Another counter spell and a brainstorm. I guess the brainstorm we could use with the Lorien, but that's just slow. Because I kind of want a Lorien right now, like this turn, so we'll bottom that. There's a Squadron Hawk, alright. Play the Basilisk Gate. They're going to pass with no artifact lands this time and no 2-drop. So I think we just get our beachfront, play a Squawk, play a beachfront. That's it. I guess we'll only 2-drop 2 of these because we'd have to discard a 3rd, and I don't think I want to discard any. These creatures are all very important since they have so much removal. They just have a Kami, a Jealous Thirst. Alright, well, I can just shoot that by playing another Hawk and then just Thraben Charm. I guess they're not drawing cards right now, but I'd rather be able to shoot it when they can't kill our creatures in response. I do want to be a little careful about overcommitting a bunch of 1/1s because they have Suffocating Fumes, so maybe I just want to hold up a counterspell next turn if they go for 1. They have a bridge now. There's a gate. Yeah, I think we're just gonna play some gates, start attacking for a couple, hold up our counterspell. Play gate and pass. They have a draft, that's fine. Chukabog, not relevant at the moment, which is nice. They're going to pass. Heap Gate. So I think we buff up a Squawk. So yeah, let's play a Citadel Gate. Buff up one of these guys. We can counterspell if we want to. We'll attack for 7. I think if they just cast down, I don't think we counter that though. It's tough. If we put him to 9, that's not bad. You know what? We will just counterspell. If they untap and then Suffocating Fumes, we can just put down 2 more Squawks. I think we want to take the damage where we can. And if they're trying to play on our turn, then us having a bunch of counterspells is going to be pretty nice for that. They're going to Offering the Draft, so they're down to 8. They got a Makeshift Munitions. Yep, that's the type of card that is going to kill us, and the fact that we didn't hold up a counterspell for that is pretty bad. And we brought in 2 blue Elemental Blasts, so if we could find those, that'd be pretty good. But otherwise, that's pretty brutal, because, I mean, I guess they only have 2 things to throw right now. So if I Basilisk Gate 1, they throw a map. I don't think it's worth it, though. I think I'd rather just attack for 2. We're close enough to, like, they're pretty low on health that I'm not too worried about it. I'll play a Medic, and then I can hold up double Counterspell here. But yes, Munitions is probably the top of the list of cards I would want to have countered. So, a bit unfortunate, but of course that's why they deployed it when we were tapped out. Just gonna pass here. I guess I'm gonna Heap Gate. I only have 1 Counterspell up here if they want to try to go for something, but I think the extra mana could be relevant. Journey to Nowhere, not a big deal at the moment. And we're just gonna swing. I assume this map's gonna hit a Squawk. No. Well, maybe in blockers. No, they just take it. Okay, we're gonna pass. Sack their landscape. Sack the map to an Insight. I think that's fine. They draw 2 cards, but they don't even get a artifact back from it. Draws Forge Bridge, and they have a Refurb. That's a blocker. That's something to throw with the Munitions, plus it just eats one of our cards. All really annoying. So I guess we're gonna counterspell it. Not really the type of card I want to have to counterspell right now, but... And they have a Red Blast, it looks like. That's fine. Do I want to counterspell it now? Yeah, I still think so. It's just keeping their artifact count down is good. Keeping the cards in our hand up is good. Keeping their blockers down is good. Because if they block here and then throw it here, it's just really annoying. And I'd rather they have to at least start losing some lands or something. They could do something at the end step here, but I still think I'm just going to go for a Heap Gate. Because if that extra mana could matter if we have to, like, double buff and then want to do something else. So... Here we go. Make a treasure, untap. Thraben Charm blows this up. That's pretty big. So let's just gate onto Medic, because that's going to require a cast down. I want them to tap out so I can Thraben Charm this, basically. So let's buff up the Medic. They have a cast down for it. That's fine. So I'll draw a card. Another Thraben Charm. Okay. So let's just attack. See if they want to throw their lands both at this. Nope, they're willing to go to 1. Alright. Well, now I'm going to destroy their enchantment and see if they want to throw them now. There goes one Hawk, and there goes the other. Now, it's going to be pretty unfortunate if we walk into a Suffocating Fumes, but I'm going to assume that's 1, maybe 2 out of all their cards, and I think it's better to not just lose to, like, not lose, but, like, be delayed by just 1 removal spell. So I'm going to play both of these guys, and if they have this Fumes, that's pretty good. But... They got a Mountain. They have a Refurbished Familiar for 4 mana. Thraben Charm is unreliable to kill this if they have a Fumes, but we're kind of screwed if they have a Fumes anyway. I guess we'll get rid of the Charm. This is just unconditional. Get rid of this guy. Let's Brainstorm first. See if we can get a counterspell or something. We got a couple, actually. Okay. So I guess... I put these 2 back, and then I try to remove this. They have to have 2 removal spells, and then I can counter one of them. I think that makes the most sense. Let's play this. Of course, if they have any way to gain 1 life at instant speed, such as a Reckoner's Bargain, they can also survive. But if they Reckoner's Bargain, I'd probably counterspell it. All right, we got there after a nice, long match. All right, here we are, round 5 with no lands. This one's looking solid. Mulligan to 6, so we get to put back one of these Hawks. Just start with a gate, and we're against Tron. I think that might be good for us, depending, because Tron is slow, generally. So, like, we have counterspells and stuff, and they don't have a lot of interaction, ideally. But we'll see. I'm going to start with the Hawk so that I don't make the mistake I've been making before, which is playing the Modern Age and not really wanting to discard anything. This way I don't mind discarding a couple of Hawks. They do just have the turn 3 Tron. Can't do anything about that. We get a Basilisk Gate, which is pretty good. What do we do here? I could run out of Modern Age. I guess I probably want to just hold up a counterspell for like an energy refractor, maybe a prophetic prism. Try to stifle the colored mana. Generally, the Tron I see the most is like Ultratron, but it could absolutely be Flickertron or something like that. Although I don't think Flickertron usually runs like Expedition Map. So Ultra is definitely my guess here. They play a Conduit Pylons. Don't actually care about the mine that they just got. Interesting. Maybe just because of the counterspell potential, which they know we have. Interesting. Indeed. I guess we're just gonna play a Modern Age and again hold up the counterspell. It's just Squawk. Attack for 1. Kind of tough, but we do get to just start hitting for more in a couple of turns, quite a bit more. Impulse. Yeah, that makes me think Impulse isn't usually in Ultratrons. That's probably Flicker. And I much prefer to play against Ultratron because it feels a lot easier to attack it, whereas if they have like this toolbox, it's so much harder. But Urza's mine, Energy Refractor. I mean, I think that's what I know they have a Conduit Pylons, but to me, this is what makes the deck tick, so I think we counter that. And they just have a Mole Drifter. Okay. Prismatic Strands. That seems useless, so we'll just pitch it. Play one of these guys, and I think we just gate this up. Attack. We're going to need a lot more than lands and hawks to get there, but ideally we can find some more counter spells. There's another Refractor. They got a mine, and they're just going to pass, so they can hold up a Flicker for this Mole Drifter. We get a Brainstorm. That's not bad. Let's shoot that off. Raven Charm is a little bit of interaction. We'll put back a hawk and 1 land. And, oh god. I mean, if I don't do anything here, like I could play another hawk, probably the best, because I can get a guy. But, I don't know. If they just have like a Mystical Teachings, I'm not really sure what to do here. We'll just pass. And if they try to go for a Flicker, we'll Thraben Charm and hope they don't have the counterspell. They do Ghostly Flicker. Let's try to shoot the Mole Drifter. And they have an Ephemerate, so they draw 2 more. Prophetic Prism, Map, and they have a Stonehorn Dignitary. Amazing. They have a Heritage Reclamation, destroy an enchantment. Okay. They're tapped out, but we have no combat. Alright, so we could just Brainstorm. We have a Shuffle if we need. I could just Lorien Revealed, try to catch up to them in value, but that's never going to happen unless my lands start tapping for 3. I mean, I think the best that could happen this turn would be Brainstorm into 2 removal spells, because I kind of have to get rid of this Dignitary. So I guess we have to Brainstorm for that reason. No removal spells here. Prismatic is useless, and I guess Hawk isn't really that good either. More creatures just doesn't do anything either, though. So I guess we'll play a Citadel Gate and just throw out this Lorien, but doesn't really matter. They got an Impulse. They have a Mnemonic Wall, grab a Ghostly Flicker. I guess if we get a counterspell, we can interrupt that if they have nothing else. And if we don't get a counterspell, I think we're pretty much dead. Oh, well, there's a counterspell. I feel like it's still probably going to be just dead, but I guess there's hope or something. We'll buff up a Squadron Hawk, and then we'll go to combat. We'll attack with that Squadron Hawk. They'll block with a Mole Drifter. Just let it die. Okay. Sure, we'll play an Outlaw Medic. And we'll pass. Crack the map. They have a Ghostly Flicker. I mean, the chances of them not having a counterspell for this are like 0, but if they just can keep flickering this, then I can't really do anything. So let's just go for it, I guess. Alright, they have an Unwind. We'll just go to the next game. We don't really have a sideboard for them. I mean, Dust to Dust could hit their artifacts, but that's kind of irrelevant. I guess we have some Pyroblasts, but that's about it. And Prismatic Strands is really annoying because we don't really want it, but they do play like a random breath weapon that they can tutor up. So taking them all out feels like, oh, we're just going to get got at some point, but I don't think we can really rely on that. So I was hoping for a trophy here, but this is going to be pretty tough to win, I think. Don't think we're really favored. All right, here we have 5 lands and no interaction that matters. I mean, they're fine, but like, this doesn't do anything without creatures. I don't even know what kind of hand we want. I would assume like Sacred Cat, a couple of lands, one of which is a Basilisk Gate, and then like maybe a bunch of removal after that, or counterspells at that point. Pyroblasts, but this hand doesn't do anything. This is kind of what I was asking for. I guess we just get rid of the Medic, play a Guild Gate and pass. He kept a perfect 7, apparently. Remote Isle. I think I'm just going to run out the Hawk so we don't draw any others. Also to use with the Brainstorm. Power Plant and a Prism. Raven Charm. Okay. So I could just play a Heap Gate, play a Basilisk Gate, or rather activate it and start attacking. We hit for 4. They go to 16 next turn. Theoretically, if I'm drawing lands, I could hit them to 11. Then I could hit them to 5. So that could be a 4-turn clock with no interaction. That seems unlikely, to be honest. So I think instead we're just going to Brainstorm. Pyro, Journey, and Counterspell seems solid enough. Some interaction is the important thing. We get to put back 2 Hawks. And then I think we're just going to, I guess, play a Heap Gate. Leave up a Pyroblast. I don't really know what that's going to be for, because they're not. Maybe they evoke a Muldrifter if they're desperate, but then we'll cycle a Lorien. All right, seems solid enough. Have a mine, and they're just going to pass. Cycle Lorien, an island. And there's a Basilisk Gate. Play island. So we're holding up Counterspell, which means I can only play like a Sacred Cat. I guess I'll just play that. Then we'll pass. Nothing at the end step. They just have the natural Tron. I mean, I'm going to Pyroblast a Muldrifter. They're going to do nothing. Pass. All right. We kind of need the mana. The mana is going to be really powerful, really helpful here. So I'm going to tap out for the Heap Gate, even if they have like something at the end step. They don't. So I could start gating now for 4. That's 6 damage. That's a 3-turn clock. That seems reasonable. Plus we get to hold up Counterspell and Pyro. Yeah, I guess we're going to try it. Buff up the Sacred Cat with these 2. Just attack for 6. They got to have something here. I would assume like a Mystical Teachings. Maybe just a Moment's Peace. Yeah, I hate the Moment's Peace. I don't think I'm going to Counterspell it, though. I think we'll just Raven Charm it from the graveyard on their end step. Or if they try to buy it back here. Well, Wall. We're just going to try to Pyroblast that. And they just have another one. I can Counterspell it, or I could just Raven Charm. But then they still have a Wall that blocks this a little bit. I don't want to Journey to Nowhere this guy, though. And then they can Flicker it. Yeah, it's a rough spot. We're going to counter it. Now we don't have any actual counter spells, so it might not be the best. I could go for Squawk, Brainstorm. Then I could Gate, but then I'm Shields down, or I could just Brainstorm. Could also just double Gate here while they're tapped out. I hit for 10, but then again I'm Shields down. I can't get rid of the Moment's Peace, so I'm basically giving them a turn anyway. Plus if they have like a Pulse of Marasa, that's pretty bad, so I think we gotta hold up the Thraben Charm. But I do want to hit for some damage. Guess we're gonna just... Yeah, I guess we're just gonna buff up once, attack for 6, and then pass with the Thraben Charm and stuff. They have another mine, and nothing. So I'd probably just have to Thraben Charm their Moment's Peace, but now if they have like a Pulse of Marasa, it's kind of awkward. You know what? I think I'm just gonna go with this Heap Gate. Make a mana, make a treasure. And I think we're not gonna pump while they have the Moment's Peace. We're just gonna like Squawk and Brainstorm this time. Of course, again, we tap out here. If they have a Mystical Teaching, they can find their Breath Weapon, whatever. But we can still just get the Squawk off. Looks like they are gonna be annoying and do that. There's the Teaching. Maybe this way we can Thraben Charm away at Teachings too, though. There's a Pulse of Marasa. Okay. That's pretty annoying. They're gonna use that too. Yup. Now they're out of colored mana, but the chances of... And there's a Pyroblast. Yeah, we can't deal 18 damage. I can't wait for them to go for a wall, because then they can Teachings. I probably just need a Thraben Charm this turn. So Thraben Charm's 2 mana. I have a mana for a Pyroblast, 4 mana left to Basilisk Gate up for some damage. Sure. Pump, attack for 6, and let's exile their graveyard. Pass. Now they have a wall that's currently useless, and when it is useful, we can Pyroblast it. If they get like a Stonehorn Dignitary, ideally we can Journey to Nowhere it. They have an Expedition map, I'm not worried about that. I think they have enough mana, they're probably just going to get like a Conduit Pylons, or maybe another Cycler. There's the Pylons. Try to find a spell to bin, so that they can use the wall on it, but they just bin a Power Plant. They have a Dinrova Horror. That's pretty annoying. I mean, I surely have to Pyroblast that. If it just happened once and I could Journey it, it'd be fine, but if they have a Flicker and I can't get rid of it, it's really bad. So we're going to try to Pyro that. That worked. Another Red Blast is pretty good. I can't go for lethal regardless, although I do want to Brainstorm to try to hit a land drop. Yeah, I don't think I care about the Hawk as much. Let's just Brainstorm. We didn't hit a land. We got another Brainstorm, though. Put back the 2 Modern Ages, I guess, because we're just going to buff this, hold up a Red Blast, and pass. They have an Energy Refractor. They have a Dignitary. Yup, that's annoying. We will Journey it and hope they don't have an Ephemerate, because if they have a Ghostly Flicker, we can counter it, but if they have an Ephemerate, we're kind of out of luck. We know one of their 3 cards is a Wall. Oh, they just have the Ephemerate right now. Amazing. I mean, the fact that they use it now, they bank an extra turn, but we do get to Journey it, and then the Ephemerate stays in exile unless they play another creature, so I guess that's something. So I guess if they just saved it, it probably would have been worse for us, but they didn't know that. Good news is we don't have to waste our turns on this Basilisk Gate. So let's just play a Squadron Hawk, search for 2 more, Brainstorm to put them back. I guess we want to hit, oh yeah. Kind of awkward because we have such little colored non-blue mana, so like, I actually, if I Journey this, which I have to, I can't hold up Red Blast. Oh well. We're going to put back the Squawks, which we're going to draw back anyway, but that's fine. Play a Basilisk Gate. Oh, I have to pay 3 for this. I should have just played a tap land. I was thinking this was going to not cost 2. Whatever. We're going to Journey to Nowhere. Hope they don't have another Ephemerate. Although usually I think they only play like 1. Okay, they don't. Skip our combat and pass. We're in an okay spot, but first of all, we should have played a tap land. Second of all, we just need them to not have anything. Refractor's a redraw. And we don't have the Red Blast here, which I would like to have up. They have another Dignitary, because why wouldn't they? Okay. I know the top card of our deck's just a Hawk, because we couldn't do anything about it. But let's play a Modern Age and get rid of one of them. We really don't need this many. And just play a Citadel Gate on red. And I guess we just pass. I believe we're still missing 1 more turn's worth of attacks. So there's a Prism. There's a map. That's pretty useless. They just get a tower. We're going to bank a treasure. Counterspell's good. We get another card. Journey to Nowhere. Let's get rid of this beachfront. Alright, let's just Journey this Dignitary. Pretty sure we still don't have this combat, so yeah, let's just pass. I think we should have next turn's combat. Hopefully we didn't miscount, because we're probably going to go for a Basilisk Gate. They didn't have anything here, though. Let's just Heap Gate. And we get a Thraben Charm. That's not bad either. Alright, let's Basilisk Gate. Hey, we do have a combat. Let's try to win, I guess. Alright, we got there. We need that to happen. Them to get flooded and just run out of stuff. Exactly what we need. Just run it back and hope we get a rerun of the exact same game. Alright, we have a Red Blast, lands, including a Basilisk Gate, a creature, a Journey to Nowhere. Seems solid. We need what we need. We need what we got last game, which was pretty reasonable opening hand, Brainstorm, instantly 3 amazing interaction cards. That's what we need. And then we have a Squadron Hawk to replace those cards, shuffle them away, it'll be perfect. They mulligan to 6, a Power Plant. We get a Cat, play a Guildgate. They have a Mine, and a Prism. Looks like a pretty good hand from my perspective. What do we want? Just an Outlaw Medic going? I don't think I can leave up a Blast this early. Or I could just do a Modern Age. The life doesn't matter. I guess I prefer a Flyer. I've been this Sacred Cat. Flyer to go over walls. 2 power to hit through Muldrifters. They just have the natural Tron. Mull to 6 and you get a natural Tron. Isn't that amazing? There's a Muldrifter for them too. I'm so happy for them. Thraben Charm. We draw a Counterspell. I guess we're gonna what? Just Journey this to Nowhere. Get rid of this Outlaw Medic. I could Journey it now. I could just hold up a Counterspell. I think I gotta just get rid of it. I don't know. That's what it feels like to me. I guess if they have like their Heritage Reclamation, they can just blow it up and get 2 more cards. That's kind of annoying. Next turn, if we don't hit a land, we're gonna need to Brainstorm for a land, I think. Got a Conduit Pylons. Leave it on top. Lorien Revealed. And that would be nice to have a Red Blast for, but this is what happens when you are on the draw. Just everything lines up so imperfectly. They also have an energy refractor now. In a mine, we get a pyroblast. This transforms, so we got a brainstorm to hit a land drop ideally. We do. Go back, brainstorm, modern age. Play a beachfront and hold up a pyroblast this time, I guess. They got a molten tributary, and they're just gonna pass. Okay. I'm gonna preordain, try to look for a land. We don't want brainstorms. We don't need them. I don't really think I need another pyroblast, to be honest. Especially because I can only use one per turn. I can't play them alongside any of our 2-drops here, so I guess I unearth this cat, embalm this cat, and then leave these guys up. But if they like mystical teachings here, I can't really afford to pyroblast it. And that's exactly what it is. And they get the Heritage Reclamation, which can blow up the Journey to Nowhere. Which they can do right on the end step. Okay. But they just impulse instead. They can do that later. There's the Reclamation. Can't do anything about it. They get a Mole Drifter. Now I can't shoot the Mole Drifter because if they have a flicker, they just flicker it. I'm just going to go for a wall. Well, I guess I will Red Blast that on the stack. See if that makes any difference at all. They do let it go. We get a Guild Gate. I guess I can hold up Counterspell and Pyroblast now. I feel like I have to be fully defense, but I don't know how that's going to work. Obviously, we're just going to attack with this Glider, so, you know, that's our offense there. They have a Refractor. That's irrelevant at this point. Just a new card. Bajuka Bog us. That's fine. We don't have anything we care about at the moment. We're going to swing with the Mole Drifter. I'm fine with that. I think, as always, we kind of just have to use this Keep Gate. I really need the red mana to not be so costly. But if they do something right here, because I'm tapped low, it's going to be pretty unfortunate. They don't this time, though. We get a Heap Gate. That's enough where I could go for a Basilisk Gate pump. Sure. I'm going to do it on the Vector Glider because I would rather that they can't Mystical Teachings into a Breath Weapon. Obviously, they can just have a Moment's Peace, and that's fine. They can Mystical Teaching into the Moment's Peace. They have a Pyroblast for it. Well, that's annoying. That's fine. I'm not gonna do anything about that. I can tell you that much. Pass. Flashback to Teachings. I think I gotta Pyroblast this. Stop something from happening. They swing for 2. Pulse of Marasa on a wall. I gotta go for that Thraben Charm. You know me. I simply must. They have a Negate, so they're gonna get the wall back. They're not gonna play the wall here, though, because they'd have to tap too low. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe so. They are. I guess they're not too worried because they're at 21 life. We have a Sacred Cat, so what are we going to do? They're going to pick up the Negate. Annoying. Another Red Blast. So I could, if I want to buff this, I only have one Counterspell. Buffing it doesn't do anything at the moment. So I guess we are just going to Modern Age. Which still means I only have 2 Counterspells, but it's better than 1. Pitch that Sacred Cat, and we'll just attack for 1. They attack for 2. Impulse is fine. Tower and pass. We draw Squawk. I guess I don't need that. I'll just hold up all Counterspells. Many as I can possibly get. In step, they're going to flicker. I will go for a Pyroblast, knowing they have a Negate, and then I'll go for another one. And that one worked. They have another Ghostly Flicker. As soon as they start looping flickers with walls, I'm going to be dead, so I guess I'll counter that. But they have a Pyroblast. So that's probably just the end of me. Because they can pick up the Ghostly Flicker and they draw 2. I guess if we get like a Thraben Charm off the top and we can time it perfectly, maybe we still have a shot. Seems unlikely, though. And they just have an Ephemerate, so they can pick up a Negate. Alright. They got me. Really annoying to have to play against the Flicker Tron deck. With this deck, against any form of Tron, you just want to go faster than them. This is not going to do that very well. We did manage to pick up 1 game, but I think it honestly is very much a on the play kind of a thing. Because that last game, I think if we were on the play, we would have had a good shot. There were just several things that it was like, well, if we don't play a 2-drop on turn 2, we're not advancing the board at all, but then they're able to play a Lorien or whatever because they're allowed to get 7 mana for 3 lands. So, in general, this deck seems pretty solid right now, though. I think that it's generally bad into Writhing Chrysalises, so Jund Wildfire and Gruul being really rampant is not where you want to be, but with those being less prevalent at the moment, so much red, which this deck's good against, I think it's probably a good spot for it. Thank you very much to my patrons, including my $10 patrons, Howard Granger, FaZe, and Styx. I really appreciate all the support, and I will see you all next time.